The table are the high cost of living, an audit of the 2022 general election, and the bipartisan reconstitution of the IEBC. The Dialogue Committee signed its framework agreement on August 30th, giving it 60 days to hold talks and submit a report to Parliament. Next news item: the nationwide power blackout that hit Kenya last month was caused by the non-functionality of 5 transmitter masts at the Lake Turkana wind power plant. This is according to Energy Cabinet Secretary Davis Chirchir. Chirchir told the Senate that the non-functional masts caused an overvoltage in the national grid, which led to the power plant going offline automatically to avoid damage. The government has since compensated the power plant 7 billion Kenya shillings for the losses incurred. The blackout, which lasted for several hours, affected millions of Kenyans and businesses across the country.
I want to confirm that KETRACO has completed the bidding process. That was done just the other day on 19th. The company signed a contract with the EPC contractor. This is the contract is to be executed within a period of 12 months, and therefore we expect that challenge of those 5 towers to be corrected by October 2024. In respect to the challenges we are currently experiencing in not just in Lodwar but also in Marsabit, we had some challenges. The power diesel generators, one of them went off, which is supposed to be supplying the load capacity for the town, and currently, whereas the market in Lodwar is 2.8 megawatts, we are currently only supplying 2.4 because one of the 650 megawatts diesel generator went down, and we are working around the clock to make sure we replace.
On to our next news item. The Parliament has stopped the government from implementing changes to the education system that were recommended by the Presidential Working Group. This is because some members of the Parliament disagreed with the changes. The Speaker of Parliament, Moses Wetangula, said that the government cannot make laws without parliamentary approval. The President Working Group had recommended scrapping the categorization of secondary schools and removing compulsory subject for career choices. However, some members of Parliament have raised concerns over these changes. The matter was put to rest by Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, who supported the legislators.
In the new grading system that will be applied to to the 2023 KCSE examination, the only two mandatory subjects will be mathematics and one language, either English language, Kiswahili.
And nobody, and I repeat, nobody, no minister of government can purport to make law or do things that appear to be interpreted that they have made law, because they have no capacity to make any law.
The business of lawmaking is a reserve of Parliament under Article 109 of the Constitution. As it stands, there is a crisis in the education system with education organs and players existing before the 2010 Constitution intending to seize power within the education sector given these proposals.
That there is no person who can make any law or who can pronounce himself on anything that has a force of law except this House, Mr. Speaker.
That not only is it a policy document that has not crystallized into law under Article 95, but they have purported to appoint an implementation committee which is implementing it already.
But if they want a parliamentary initiative to change any bit of the Constitution or anything that touches on the Constitution, then it must begin from this House. Honorable Speaker, anything touching or even on statutes.
President William Ruto has announced plans to upgrade 72 coffee factories and provide subsidies, seedlings, and fertilizer to farmers under the Coffee Revitalization Program, CRP. The aim of the program is to increase coffee productivity from 2 kg per tree to 10 kg per tree and raise production from 50,000 metric tons to 102 metric tons annually by 2027. President Ruto made the announcement at the opening of the 2023 Agricultural Society of Kenya ASK Nairobi International Trade Fair. He also assured coffee farmers that the government will work with all stakeholders to eliminate wastage, inefficiency, corruption, and other malpractices in the sector.
Under the Coffee Revitalization Program, 72 factories are earmarked for upgrading. Additionally, farmers are to be provided with seedlings and fertilizer at subsidized prices. The aim is to increase productivity from 2 kilograms per tree to 10 kilograms and raise production from 50,000 metric tons to 102 metric tons per annum by 2027. I want to assure coffee farmers that the government of Kenya will work with all stakeholders to ensure that wastage, inefficiency, corruption, and other malpractices are eliminated. Farmers must get a good return for their crop. I want to assure all farmers, let me be specific about coffee. I know at the moment there are challenges in the coffee sector. I have taken a keen interest. My deputy is seized with that matter, and I want to assure our farmers that the government of Kenya will do whatever it takes to make sure that farmers don't suffer the consequences of what we have seen in the past, where a few people benefit and the rest of the farming fraternity are in poverty. Wakulima wote, especially wakulima wa kahawa, niwaambie ya kwamba tutahakikisha, tunajua saa hizi kuna matatizo ya soko, lakini hiyo soko na matatizo yaliyoko katika sekta ya kahawa ni lazima tuyatatue. Wale watu wote wako katika hiyo sekta, nataka niwahakikishie ya kwamba serikali ya Kenya, mimi nikiongoza hiyo serikali, tutahakikisha kwamba tumetatua matatizo yaliyo katika sehemu hiyo ya kahawa.
Finally, the government has set aside 1.1 billion Kenya shillings this year to compensate victims of human-wildlife conflict. Tourism Cabinet Secretary Penina Malonza said the government is committed to ensuring that the victims are paid before the end of the year. Malonza also revealed that the government plans to establish an insurance scheme to ensure timely compensation for people who are injured by wildlife or have their property destroyed. The CS lamented that it has been taking too long to compensate those affected and promised that the matter will be addressed. She stressed that the government has intensified the fencing of wildlife corridors to ensure no more wildlife-human conflicts.
I am particularly keen, Madam CS, on working very closely with your team in developing the Mount Kenya Southeastern route. Leo ukitaka kuclimb Mount Kenya, watalii wanaenda Nanyuki ama wanaenda Chogoria. Sasa ile tunataka kufanya ni kufungua route ingine ya kwenda Mount Kenya, kuclimb Mount Kenya through Erangi Forest right here, Upper Embu County. We look forward to more traffic to Embu, and I wish to state that we do have adequate hotel capacity to accommodate travelers to Embu. In total, Embu County has a bed capacity of 2,500, and about 1,000 of that is within Embu town and its environs. So people need not worry where they'll sleep when they come here. I am working on a strategy, Honorable Governor, to ensure we will never wait again such a long wait when we are crying. We're working to see whether we can have an insurance scheme that will compensate our people once any harm happens to them. We've also budgeted 1.1 billion for further compensation this year to ensure that the baggage that we have of 2,600 claims will be paid before the end of the year. We've been able in the wildlife sector to, for the first time, disperse 900 million for compensation. And I know, Governor, you will be excited to know out of this 900 million that went to 46 counties, your county got 11 million plus. Wakati hao wakoloni walikuja huku, waliiba vitu. Waliiba pengine ngoma, pengine muti fulani, pengine kiti fulani iliibiwa. Tunarudisha hizo vitu kutoka ng'ambo. Na hivi tumeweka mkataba katika UNESCO ambao utatusaidia wakati hizo vitu zinarudi. Kama ile ngoma ya Wamijikenda, sijui hapa nini iliibiwa, lakini tutatafuta. Tuhakikishe watu wetu wamepata compensation, kwa sababu that is part of their life and it was taken away. All the tourism licensing services have been automated for ease of doing business and service delivery in the tourism sector. I want to say that things are becoming easier with technology, and so you don't need to interact a lot with the workers, but you can go online and fill in your form. Refurbishment of KICC, and you saw just the last 2 weeks, we were able to return the glory of KICC after 50 years. And we are going to do more. And as I do KICC, I encourage the governor to think of a convention in this county. That way, you will not only attract the tourists who come to climb Mount Kenya, but you'll attract tourists who will come to do business, tourists who will come to do conventions and events. And that's where money is in terms of tourism.
Let's have a short break. When we come back with sports news.